What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and today we're going to be doing our first Q&A video. Now, I haven't done one of these on the channel before. I've got a ton of questions that were submitted by you guys, so thank you so much to those of you who submitted questions. And today I'm going to be answering some of my favorite questions that you guys have submitted. If you'd like to see more videos like this, 1, make sure to let me know, but 2, ask more questions. I read every single comment that is posted here on YouTube, even the ones that aren't so friendly. But I will be answering questions if you submit them in the comments below on any of my videos. Or you can submit them through Facebook or Twitter, any of my social medias really. Even if I don't answer your question in the comment, there is a chance that it could be in one of our future Q&A videos if you guys would like to see more of them. So why don't we talk about the first question, which is from Trooper1139, asking BB Warrior, do you think that Airsoft is not growing as much as it could be? So I'm going to answer this in 2 parts. I think that the player base is growing. The player base, is I can't talk. The player base is growing at a pretty good rate in Airsoft. Airsoft is getting easier and easier for players to get into because better guns are getting more affordable, and then the supplies that you need as well are getting more affordable. So I think that the player base is growing. Yes, it is. Could it grow faster? I mean, possibly, but it's growing at an acceptable rate for now. I think that fields and stores are not, however. So as the player base is growing, a lot of fields and especially a lot of stores that do not have a field attached to them, they are closing down. And it's not just something in my local area, it's something that I'm seeing across the United States. I'm not sure how it is in any other place in the world, but I'm an American citizen. So I see a lot of stores closing down through the people that I've met in Airsoft, and I think it's a real shame. However, I think it's because all small businesses are shutting down. The internet is killing people, and I don't like to just say that the internet is killing people. People are also killing their own businesses by drastically overmarking products than what you can get them for online. If a gun costs an extra $75 in the store, I completely understand why someone, especially someone on a budget, would have to go online at that point. And I think that's a huge issue, is that a lot of people think, especially people who are the only store in their area, think that they can get away with charging more. But there are also some people that compete with online prices that just can't afford to, or people would rather just take their business online. And I think that is a real shame, because it is the stores that support the fields, that support the entire community. And without these smaller communities and the localized Airsoft, well, then you can't have these bigger, larger scale MILSIM events, and then everything feeds off each other. So I think that while the player base is growing, the local scenes in a lot of communities across the United States are not. And I think that's a real shame. I wish that could be turned around. However, that's in the business owner's hands. I mean, there are some circumstances that the business owner can't control, obviously. However, I think a lot of people are just setting their prices too high, and they're just not allowing themselves to compete with online. Gannon wants to know, hi, I'm looking for a gas blowback pistol, and I'm looking at the Elite Force 1911 TAC. I think it's a little expensive for a pistol. Is it worth it, and is there any other good options? Thanks for the help. Well, first off, I want to say that I recognize you. You bought a patch, so thank you so much. And answering your question about the Elite Force 1911 TAC, I think that it's a great pistol for its price. Is it the best pistol out there? Absolutely not. However, for the price point of it, for the most tricked out version, I believe it's about $120. They're a great pistol for that price point, because everything else in that price point, you're looking at like WeTechs and Armorware Customs, which are WeTech pistols. So I think that the Elite Force 1911 TAC is a great option because it's built by KWC, which means that it has a good quality and good performance right out of the box. And because it's distributed by Elite Force, parts and extra magazines are available everywhere. It's also a CO2 system, so you don't have to buy green gas or anything like that. But Elite Force has been really good about their part support, and that's something that I've always applauded Elite Force on, is the fact that they do have aftermarket parts, because everything, especially gas blowback handguns, they break. There are a lot of moving parts under pressure, and things break no matter who you buy from. So I think that the Elite Force 1911 TAC is great, especially in its price point. If you want to spend a little bit more money, you can get a nicer pistol. You can move up to a TM or even a KWA pistol, because they still make a bunch of pistols for Elite Force. But if $120 is the top of your range, around that range, I would highly suggest picking up the Elite Force 1911 TAC. Tristan wants to know, I just bought an LBX lock and load chest rig. I know that LBX is like LBT, but stitched in Peru. How similar would the quality from the LBX be to the LBT chest rigs? And if I have a tailor do some more double stitching, would it then virtually be the same quality as an LBT rig, which is a lot more money? And how suitable is the LBX gear for real combat? Is this a quote knockoff or a legit just non-bear compliant option? Please answer when you can. Thank you. So Tristan, LBX and LBT are a part of the same company, I guess you could say. LBT is the parent company for LBX, and there are some distinct differences between the two companies. Now, first off, as you said, you are correct. LBX is stitched and manufactured in Peru and is not a berry compliant option. However, for what I would assume that you're using this for, just BB Wars, because you are on an Airsoft channel, LBX will be fine, even if you wanted to go through and do some double stitching. Now, especially on chest rigs, airsofters don't carry nearly the amount of weight that would be in a real world situation, because again, we don't have to worry about the weight of our ammunition because a BB weighs a whole lot less than 5.56 or 7.62 NATO. You don't have to worry about plates if you're talking about a plate carrier. So for airsofting use, I think that replica gear is just fine. And this is coming from a Cry fanboy. I think that replica gear is fine for airsoft. If that's what you want to use, you do you and you get that. If that's in your price point, that's cool. And the LBX lock and loads are a great design. They are based off of the 1961 series from LBT, which are very expensive for shooting plastic pellets at each other. I think it's going to be absolutely fine for you. Now, if you were to use this in a real world situation where you're using actual rounds, I still think it's going to be fine for a chest rig. However, something that I've noticed on a lot of replicas, not to say LBX in particular, but typically where the shoulder straps meet the plate bags is where I see most issues on replica gear. So that might be something good. Or a lot of companies don't use bar tack stitching for Molly. I'm pretty sure LBX does, but a lot of the lower qualities don't because it's a huge time saver. So to answer your question, I think LBX will work just fine for your purposes. Mason wants to know, what are your thoughts on spray painting guns in gear? So I think that it is a good thing besides just aesthetics if you are going to be going up against night vision. There's a photo that I saw, I can't remember where it's from, so I can't throw it up on screen for you guys, but it was a comparison between a non-painted AR and a painted AR. And under night vision, they just stick out less. So as from a usefulness standpoint, I think that is a pretty good example of it. Now, just for being sneaky in the woods, it can help. If you're just using a black gun, that is obviously going to stand out more than a tan or a green or a brown would. But other than that, it's purely just aesthetics and if you like it. Now, painted guns go for a whole lot less if you plan on reselling. Just keep that in mind. And to answer about spray painting gear, again, I think it's aesthetic and personal preference. I personally don't see any advantage in it unless you're trying to spray paint something that's in like UCP or black to match in more with your environment. But going with a straight coyote brown, which works with pretty much every camo aesthetically and in actual usefulness, or with like a ranger or olive drab, I think both of those would be fine. So to recap, mainly just aesthetics, however, does have some advantages in certain situations. Nikita wants to know, hi, I'm going to my first airsoft game next weekend at a CQB site. Do you have any tips for me? So first off, welcome to the world of airsoft. I imagine that you're going to have a great time, and I hope I pronounced your name right. So to answer your question, a few things that you should probably learn how to do, and there are tons of guides here on YouTube, is learn how to peek corners. And if you are going to be using a flashlight, I personally find that less is more. It is a two-way street that is definitely not equal at range. If you're shining your flashlight at someone 75 feet away, they're going to be able to see you a whole lot clearer than you're going to be able to see them. Because while you may see their silhouette, they're going to see this nice bright circle right there, and they're going to shoot at that. So I personally find that with flashlights, less is more. Other than that, stay mobile, stay silent, and make sure you pick up a good pair of goggles. Gloves are also highly recommended so that you don't get shot in the hand at close range, which really sucks. But welcome to Airsoft. I hope that you enjoy yourself. Michael wants to know, what's your opinion on the use of RC vehicles and drones in Airsoft? I think that they're, at least in my circumstances, not useful. Now, the places that I typically play at have a faster respawn. They're more of a speed soft style of field. So I think that at my local fields, they don't really serve an advantage because enemy positions change so fast because people are running or respawning or any number of things that it's just not very viable where I am. However, I mean, it could be viable. I think for super large games, it could be viable if the staff allow it. But at the same time, you have to worry about that one jerk who's going to shoot down your drone. I think the RC cars are a little unpointless to begin with, but if you wanted to do a drone and had like a headset or like you could see it on a phone what it's looking at, I think that'd be kind of cool. And that'd add to some super cool Tom Clancy Ghost Recon immersions. But other than that, I don't see a purpose for where I am. I think at a very specific event, it could be very, very useful. However, I think that it's not something that you could just bring to your standard pickup game and have a really good time. I think you'd have a whole lot more time just getting behind the sights of your rifle and putting some BBs down range. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I want to know, because this was a new style of video, would you enjoy seeing more Q&A videos? I do appreciate all of the feedback that you guys give for my channel. Even if it is negative, I take it to heart because the only way that I'm going to get better as a creator is through constructive criticism. And I just want to add, if you want to help support the channel, I'd love to have you guys pick up a BB Warrior patch if you can. They're only $7 and worldwide shipping is available, and they help improve the quality of the videos here on the channel. The BB Warrior patches help out so I can get new equipment to make better videos, and they help me afford to be able to go to Airsoft more so that I can, one, meet up with you guys. I like to go to new fields all the time whenever I can, and two, they help me going to fields and playing helps me think of new things to talk about here on the channel, especially for the discussion-oriented videos, because playing is what inspires me and makes me see certain things that make me question, why do we do this, or why don't we do that? Things like that. So buying the patches really, really helped out the channel, so thank you guys so much, and just watching the videos in general just means the world to me, so thank you guys so much for that. But that is going to do it for this video. If this was your first time here and you enjoyed the video, well, I would love to have you become a member of our community by hitting that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that bell icon next to it to stay updated when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. We are here to help you guys have a better time both on and off the airsofting field. And for those of you who are not already, we would love to have you here in our community. Make sure to check us out on social media for content that doesn't get posted to YouTube. Links will be down in the description below for that, as well as where you can pick up the BB Warrior patches. But this has been Lane talking in our first Q&A video, and I will see you all next time.